You're listening to the PZinner Network. For more great podcasts, go to pzinner.com.au.
Spoiler alert. I mean, honestly, if you listen to this podcast, spoilers.
Spoilers.
I just have this image in my head of like Milo Parker head on hand at like a wooden school desk, just like drawing like Master in a love heart with James Blakelock, a little arrow through the heart.
Drawing a little doodle of them killing people together. The doctor comes over. What are you drawing? Nothing. Papers scrambling and crunching around. Don't look.
People of the universe, please attend carefully. The message which follows is of vital importance to you all.
Please try to keep up.
We present to you a case study of one of the most dangerous minds in the universe.
Brilliant.
A history of the lives and times of the renegade Time Lord known as the Master.
The Master. Call me Master.
The choice is simple. Join us and continue listening, or face total annihilation.
Listen.
They are the Master, and you will obey them.
You will obey me.
Please attend carefully. Hello and welcome to Please Attend Carefully, the Doctor Who podcast about the most magisterial of malefactors. I'm Kieran Moffat.
I'm Amber Patrick.
And each week we bring you a chapter from the lives and times of the renegade Time Lord known universally as the Master. This week we'll be looking at the brand new Missy Volume 4 Bad Influence, which features Missy and the Time Assassin by David Quantick, Bad Apple Brigade by Freddie Valdosta, and The Baron Robbers by Lou Morgan. Amber, tell us what they're about.
Well, this story is, as the name suggests, it's Missy being a bad influence on different people.
I love it.
Yeah, it's not really something I think I'm going to distill down into a narrative. It's Missy has 3 different encounters and she's a bad influence to the characters around her.
It's almost a anthology, but it's like, you know what's weird about it? It feels like classic Who in like it's serialized. She lands in one location and then thing happens, lands in the next location, and it's basically one whole day, and she's just capering from caper to caper.
I like how the main through line is kind of similar to her other stories. It's about her obtaining something within her arsenal. So this is all about how she gets her vortex manipulator.
Yes.
Because we've had before how she gets her TARDIS.
Because we've had like 4 box sets, haven't we? And you know what this feels like? It feels like a jumping off point. It feels like they've gone, okay, here's Missy. We're going to give her a whole new roster of a rogues gallery that she can then later on encounter. That's what it felt like. It felt like world building.
It did.
And I should say at this point, 3 years since the last Missy.
Yeah, it's been a while.
2021.
Yeah, I don't know if you listened to the interviews, but basically they said that Michelle Gomez is so busy.
Of course she is.
They just need to try and fit her in anywhere they possibly can to record.
Yeah.
So I'm going to assume that's why it's been so long, is that getting a hold of Michelle Gomez is tough, but they managed it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I see photos online of her like underneath a quilt in her wardrobe in her house in New York trying to record, which I find hilarious because her house is like appeared in Architectural Digest and stuff, and just the idea that this hugely celebrated house, she's just sitting in a cupboard somewhere with a quilt over her head just making jokes as Missy. I love it.
But you're amoral.
Moral. I'm moral, not amoral. Big difference. I cannot stand amoral people. Fence sitters, the lot of them. Pick a side, why don't you?
So I guess we could kick off with the first story.
Missy and the Time Assassin by David Quantick. Now, I want to take a moment to talk about David Quantick. So he's only ever done one other Big Finish story, and it was the 7th Doctor story. He's not usually a Doctor Who writer. He's a comedy writer. He's a sitcom and sketch comedy writer. He wrote quite a lot of the sketches for that Mitchell and Webb sound and that Mitchell and Webb look.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now that starts to make sense about why Patterson Joseph is James Blakelock, time assassin.
Amazing. I love Patterson Joseph. He's an amazing actor.
So do I.
Like remember back in like the mid-noughties whenever like when, you know, they were trying to work out who was going to come after Chris Eccleston or come after David Tennant, Patterson Joseph was always top of the list, right?
That's incredible.
Yeah. I love this story because he plays the time assassin James Blakelock in this really sort of sounds sort of 50s-ish, doesn't it? It sounds like Rocketeer.
Yeah, pulp hero.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I love this character. I want this character to come back. Like, if the Bruce Master has Salvatore, I want Missy to have Blakelock. Like, I want them to be in more together.
I mean, look, if you can get Patterson Joseph and use him, do. Just do. Do you know what I like about this so much is it feels like a role reversal because she meets James Blakelock and she's like, are you the time assassin someone such and such? Are you the time assassin this person? And it feels like the old which Time Lord are you?
Yeah.
Right?
Because
are you the master? Are you the monk? Are you this? And what I love is that Missy is a fan.
Yes.
She is a fangirl.
Yes, I do love. She says that in her academy era, she read about Blakelock, and it was the only thing that kept her going through her boring classes.
I mean, you love law.
Yeah.
Law.
So hearing that was incredible because it just enhances this sort of idea that, you know, given also the weird timey-wimey of it all.
Yeah.
That Blakelock is a hero of her from when she was young at the academy.
And then that he also knows about the master, about Missy. I just have this image in my head of like Milo Parker head on hand at like a wooden school desk, just like drawing like master in a love heart with James Blakelock, a little arrow through the heart.
Drawing a little doodle of them killing people together. The doctor comes over. What are you drawing? Nothing. So papers scrambling and crunching and don't look.
Oh, someone out there write that fic and send it to us, please.
So cute. I mean, jumping forward, but just as a reference, also in the third story of this, Missy says she also had an Evil Dead phase during the academy era.
In the second one, she says she has an Evil Dead phase, which I heard that and I was just like, oh.
I had my Evil Dead phase back at the academy.
Okay, so she meets James Blakelock. And what I love is it's your typical hero worship story. Like, you meet hero is not who you thought he was.
Yes.
And basically, because the story starts, let's frame this, the story starts with him failing to prevent the First World War.
Yes.
He goes to sort of try and distract a Serbian of the Black Hand gang who he was just going to throw a rock at the car of Archduke Franz Ferdinand. But suddenly, this guy comes into a public toilet and starts telling him, no, you can't kill him. Yeah. It's just like, that's a great idea. I'll kill him.
Yeah. I'll pay you not to kill him. Well, I wasn't going to, but now I am.
Yeah.
I do kind of love that moment I sent the message to you because it was kind of like the guy is sort of talking to himself in the mirror and then Blakelock comes in and it kind of felt like, do you mind? I'm trying to monologue in this toilet.
I mean, we've all been there, right? Yeah, James Blakelock gets sent to just exiled off to this random planet.
Because starting the World War is, such a crime. But he's like, I didn't mean to, but they think he did, so he's held culpable for it.
Yeah, exactly. And Missy is there because exploding pig king, and we're just going to move forward from that. We're just going to, that's all you're getting on that. Just move forward. So Missy meets him, it's just like, oh, you've done all the most amazing things. And basically he's a laughing stock. All the horrible things that he's done are because he's fucked up massively.
All the other time assassins laugh at him and bully him.
Yeah.
I do love when they meet, Missy's first question to him is, are you single or edible? Because she doesn't know who he is. There's a lot of references to Missy eating people.
There is. And there's also quite a lot of like references to Missy being thirsty.
She wants him. Yeah, she wants him. And she says to him, like, I eat lovers for breakfast. And James Blakelock's like, do you mean that figuratively or literally? It's like, calm down, audio.
Yeah, very much is just like, oh.
This is a great, as they mention in the interviews at the end, they call it a two-hander. They said this is probably,
Yeah.
the closest they come to Missy having, I suppose like we did with the monk. It's kind of like there's two leads for this audio.
Well, it feels to me like she takes a companion role in this story.
Yes.
That's how it kind of feels to me.
Because it's his story. He's got a few goals in this. He's trying to sort of clear his name.
Yes,
But
I'll
then-
show them. I'll show them all. Mwah, ha ha ha. Because what he wants to do to show them is he's going to do something really good. Because of course it turns out that all the things that he's fucked up is because he's tried to do good things.
Yes, he's a pacifist, as it turns out, not an assassin.
I mean, if you can listen to this audio just for Michelle Gomez repeatedly saying "assassin" assassin over and over and over again.
I really love this scene that they go to this. What's it called? With Nero.
Yeah. So they're at this festival, festival on this planet with this. It's a very obviously Rome coded,
Yes,
right?
because it's Nero the 13th or something. The emperor.
Even the emperor is called Nero. So he has this fiddle, right? What's the fiddle
It's
called?
something like encephala. I tried to write it down. Encephafiddle.
Yeah, encephalofiddle.
Fiddle.
Encephalofiddle. There we go.
Yep.
An encephalofiddle.
The encephalofiddle.
Encephalofiddle.
Which once you've said once, it's actually much easier to say. So yeah, he's got this encephalofiddle. The old Nero played the fiddle while Rome burned. Basically, this instrument, when you play it, it kills people.
Yes, he's going to play the Concerto for Genocide and Orchestra in G minor.
Can I just say that piece of sound design was.
Oh yeah.
I mean, as a sound designer, I listened to that. I was like, this is incredible. The use of music and sound in this box set is just so amazing, so fun.
Yeah, my notes say in giant, bolded, extra big font, holy shit, the sound editing.
This concert is the first and only performance of a piece written by the Emperor himself. It is called Concerto for Genocide and Orchestra in G minor.
James Blakelock says that the concerto, in the first movement, the entire first row gets vaporized.
Yep.
Second movement, the city is consumed into war and everyone turns against one another.
Yes.
Third movement, destruction of the entire solar system.
Yeah, amazing. Also, I want to quickly just skip back just 1 second to James Blakelock talks about a planet that he was on that was consumed by, and I quote, a series of niche civil wars. Progressively niche civil
yeah.
war. It started as like country against country, and then continent against continent, and then like down to house against house, and finally one man had a civil war against himself and executed himself by throwing himself off a cliff. Okay, so they find that they need to go looking for the conductor because they think the conductor can help them stop him ever learning to play this fiddle. And they go meet him, and he's quite a reasonable old chap. He's really chatty and like happy and stuff.
Yes.
Can you help us stop this? Oh, no, I don't want that. I invented the instrument. I want to see it play.
Yes, I'll be in the front row with earplugs in, loving every moment of it. Then Missy just kills him.
Yeah, Missy, like a disintegrator gun.
Yeah.
Where did you get that from?
Yeah, doesn't matter.
Don't question it. Shut up.
And then we get like the antagonist, I suppose, of the story, which is the intergalactic police who starts chasing them because they're murdering people. Who, did you think it was Michelle Gomez doing a bad accent?
Oh, yeah, it was absolutely Michelle Gomez
It's
doing
not.
a bad... It's not?
It's not Michelle Gomez.
What about the...
It's another actress in the cast.
Oh, what about the drone judge that sentences him? Because that sounded like Michelle Gomez
No,
as well.
that's the same woman who does those two voices.
Oh,
Yes. I thought the entire time that the intergalactic police was Missy in disguise.
I thought it was going to be that was going to
Yeah,
be the joke, like in that episode of the Spoonful of Mayhem.
Yeah, it's not. because she's in the interviews at the end. It's a different actress completely.
Hello, I'm Joanne Pierce, and I'm playing Rega and Marina.
Amazing. Okay.
So I was so confused.
I also want to say the conductor, at one point Missy says, I need to use the bathroom. And he says, okay, it's down there, turn left at the tapestry. And his comment on the tapestry, just out of nowhere, is, don't touch the buttocks. I know it's tempting. What?
That's rope. Oh, they're all having fun in this, all the cast.
It's so much fun.
Yeah.
This is a revelation. I'm up to date with Big Finish this year, right?
Mm-hmm.
And except for Morbius, because I want to wait till it's all done.
Yeah,
before I
I'd
listen
like
to
to do
it.
that too.
This is the best Big Finish release this year. And unless something truly spectacular comes along, nothing's topping it. It's just brilliant.
Yep.
So, yeah, they're being chased by an intergalactic police. They're zipping all over the place. He sounds, like you said, like a pulp hero. He's got, instead of a vortex manipulator, he has a time box on his wrist.
Yes, I did love that.
Like, you imagine him in a trench coat.
Yes, well, in the art, you can kind of see him, and he's wearing quite a large collared, like, purple jacket by the looks.
Yeah.
It looks really cool.
I am the time assassin, James Blakelock, and I've come from the future to warn you.
You're who?
Yes, I probably shouldn't have said that out loud. Forget that.
They get into this vault on another planet, like it's like a museum.
Yes.
So they get stuck on this planet, and there's a museum because this planet put all of the first contact, like, alien technology on an abandoned world so that if any aliens come back to reclaim their technology, they won't attack the civilization. They'll just go for the museum where it's stored and no one's around to be a casualty of them invading.
Yeah, I think they also said that they didn't want it. It's kind of heavily coded as basic racism. It's just like, we don't want any of that nasty alien stuff. Put it away.
Yeah. So they're stuck there. So they go into that museum to try and find a way to get the time box working again so they can leave.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where Missy finds this vortex manipulator inside this museum. And we find out that, so she tries to escape, but she can't because it can only jump a few hundred meters.
Yeah,
to
like
stop.
200 meters because it's a museum. It's a copy.
Yeah, and it's like to stop people stealing it and running away with it.
Yep.
And we find out that this is a trap that he's set for her because he's looked through time and history so heavily that he's discovered who the master is.
Yeah, and he wants to absolve his name by stopping the worst possible thing he can, which is Missy.
Yeah.
I've been everywhere, including I knew that you were fighting that pig king on the king of the 6.5 worlds. Did you find out why 6.5? Or no, it's fine. It's fine.
I do love that he's like, I know who you are, Missy, Master. And he says a few of the names.
Oh yeah, he says a couple of the aliases, and one of them she's just like, look, I was in a hurry. Victor Magister was one of the ones he mentioned, which is Reverend Magister from the Demons.
So that's cool because they're both fans, of each other.
Fans of each other.
Of each other.
Yeah. So there's a showdown.
Oh yeah. So the police. You can say about the police.
Yeah. So
she does the switcheroo.
Yeah, because she is mistress of the old switcheroo. So she gets the working vortex manipulator off him, and she's just like, haha, bye, and disappears. The intergalactic police show up, and it is not the intergalactic police. It is, in fact, and the thing is, they're just like, it's not actually me. And you're just like, yes, it's Missy. We know it's Missy. We've been listening to the whole episode. It's obviously Missy. It was not. It was, in fact, the time assassin, James Blakelock, who decided to come back in time to stop himself being arrested. He arrived 5 minutes before the actual police did.
Yes, because he knew when they would arrive. So yeah.
And I love the line, James Blakelock's just like, why didn't you just go back to the beginning and stop me making the mistake in the first place? Well, I didn't think of that. Because he even says, it's just like, I'm so sick of time travel. I'm sick of all the paradoxes, the bootstrap paradox, the grandfather paradox, all these bloody paradoxes. So James Blakelock and himself are now in cahoots.
Yes. Yes.
And Missy lands on a rather nice cliff top which suddenly starts raining.
Yes, I love that. She's like, tastes like Northern Hemisphere.
Yeah, it's just like, yes, latitude 50 is, it's Britain. Which is where we begin story 2.
Yes.
Story 2, The Bad Apple Brigade.
This one, I think,
I
enjoyed it, but I think if of any audio I would have liked to have seen visually, this might have been it.
Yeah.
I think this could have been really fun and spooky to see visually.
Yeah.
And I think the 3 girls would have been fun to see.
Yeah. So Missy's standing on a cliff. It's raining. And this woman comes up to him and says, excuse me, can you help me find my girls? And Missy's just like, I'm not in the mood for you. She's just not in the mood. And so this schoolmistress says that she's got these 3 girls with her. What they're doing, they don't actually explain adequately what the fuck they're doing on the island anyway.
What they're doing on the island?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're on just like a trip.
Yeah, it seems like a very odd...
I don't know why one person would take 3
troubled teens
onto an island just for some camping.
So it's the 1920s. It is a reform school. So
Yeah.
it is for troubled girls, and for troubled read girls who didn't do what they were told or what was expected of them.
Yeah, because there's 3 of them. One is I thought it was very bittersweet. So one's an arsonist, fair enough.
Yep. And she's kind of the stereotypical, like, oh, can I show you the fun thing I can do with matches arsonist?
Yeah. And then there's another one who is just troubled? No. Oh, I don't remember. But then there's the 3rd one who was just in love with a boy and she wouldn't dump him. So they sent her to reform school so she couldn't see him.
Because it was Grace, Agnes, and...
Frankie.
Yeah. So they were all...
I can't remember what Frankie...
I think Agnes was just troubled. She was it's just like, Missy's like, oh, you're the weird one.
Yeah, they don't like her. No,
Grace is the one
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, Grace is the one that they're just like, yeah, no, sorry, Grace is the troubled one. Agnes is the fire starter. Oh God, I can't remember. They kind of blend into one, which I think is probably a necessary thing for us to say in this. It's hard to keep track of which one's which.
So we have Frankie, creepy, Grace, bossy, and Agnes, dopey.
I do love that when one of them says like, oh, I wanted to be with this boy and I wasn't allowed to be, so my parents took me away from him, sent me to this reform school. Missy's like, you didn't dump him, but that's what men are for, dear. Use them and lose them.
My favorite quote from this episode is Grace says something like a bit wet, and and the quote is, Grace, if you ever feel like a third wheel when you're with us, this is why. Which is
yes. They just really don't like her.
So anyway, they've run off on this island. They pushed their teacher down a hill and ran off laughing.
Yes.
Missy finds the teacher and says, oh, that's terrible. Look, we might be able to see them from up on top of this cliff. Bye!
Yeah, and pushes her down.
And then she goes and finds the girls, and they're around a campfire.
Telling stories.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Do you think trees feel pain?
Yes. Do you think apples scream when we bite into their flesh? And they're like
fucking hell.
Yeah, they're troubled.
Yeah.
Missy's like right in her element with them.
Exactly.
Like she can't wait to find these girls.
Yeah, exactly. She's just like, what can I do here? And so the thing is, I thought that this story was going to be, I think the line "Mistress of the Old Switcheroo" is kind of true of this whole box set.
Yes.
Is you think Missy's going to do the obvious thing, and she doesn't. So, like, you see a group of troubled girls and you see Missy and you think Missy is going to take on a bunch of proteges and teach them how to be even worse. She does not.
No. We get Solaire show up, who is a tree man.
He's a tree man.
Because we start getting these branches like attack the girls, or we think they are. So you think there's going to be some kind of evil tree man.
Yep,
but then he shows
Missy's
up.
Evil Dead.
Yeah, and she shows up and they're like, I actually, no, he's not that bad. He's actually just a normal man.
Yeah,
like
he's all right. Whereas Missy has been trying to scare them. Like, she's been putting them in situations where, like, she's framing it as like a cabin in the woods horror.
Yeah.
And so she's making them scared. She even uses, like, what I love in this, she uses, like, psychic projection to make a message appear in a mirror backwards, so to make one of them pick up a phone and be scared.
yes.
It's like, I like the idea that Missy is just running around behind the scenes, like pulling pulleys and just like getting a thunderboard, just
Yeah, just having fun, really.
She is.
And then
Well, we find-
Solaire
we find out the reason she's doing that is because she's worked out what Solaire is, and he has implanted seeds under the girl's skin, which at first, like, Missy makes them think that they're turning into trees, but they're not. What he's doing is he's protecting them. He's covering them in wood to protect them.
Yes. And they come face to face, and Solaire is Missy's ex, but not for her.
Yeah, right. This is you know what I was like saying about the last story, about how it felt very role reversal. It felt very Doctor role reversal. Like, you know how the Doctor might meet someone and be like, "Oh, you were, you know,
Yeah.
I know about you," and find out who they are from history. This is also very Doctor, but it's River Song, right? Like, Solaire is Missy's River Song.
Mm-hmm.
Because she meets
Yeah,
him,
yeah.
and she's never met him before, but he's been in a relationship with her, and let's face it, it didn't end well. So yeah, we've got this sort of timey-wimey thing happening.
Yeah, and the thing that I love was this sympathetic that the girls are for Solaire.
Yep.
When she finds out that, like, Missy broke his heart,
Yeah,
that they're like, how dare you do that to him? He deserves more.
yeah,
Get, like, you know, and they're on his side, and they're like, how could you be so cruel, Missy? And I like that sort of reversal on her. Like, no, you're bad. Why would you do that to him? Look how nice he is.
Well, she gives them a whole thing, doesn't she? Like, trying to teach them her wisdom,
Yeah.
and it's just like, oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to do it.
Yeah, here's how you manipulate men.
Yeah.
And then it, like, never works.
Not at all. It's just like, you just said exactly the same thing as before, but in a different silly voice.
There is a line I like where one of them, I think, says, when one of them starts turning into a tree or the bark starts forming around her and her limbs are kind of stiffening, one of them says, oh, we need a doctor. And Missy says, doctors, what are they good for? All they do is show up, save the world, and break your heart.
Aww.
And I was like, has the doctor ever broken your heart? Because he just wouldn't join your evil plan? Is that what you mean?
Well, I mean, look, if anyone in the universe is out there, like, playing the victim,
Yeah, oh, yeah.
it's the master.
Yeah, I
right?
love
It's
that.
Missy. So, you know, it's funny, like, we're like half an hour into this recording, and it feels like, so when I heard we were doing like we were going to be doing this box set, right? Because we've been trying to step away from doing whole box sets in one episode,
Yep.
I thought maybe we can do like an episode on each episode. But you can't with this, not because they're too intertwined, but because the story beats are basically quite broad.
Yes.
But you need to experience it to fully
Yeah.
get it. It's like Wild Blue Yonder, right? As Russell T Davies said, like you can tell the story as the Doctor and Donna land on a spaceship and evil things impersonate them.
Mhm.
That's the story. Like, you've just got to watch it to actually fully appreciate it. So that's what it kind of feels like when we get to this point of an audio. It's just like, we've said barely anything, but
you can't. You have to listen to it.
because we can't do all the story bits. We can't do all the beautiful comic timing.
I am the time assassin James Blakelock.
No.
Yes.
Oh, my crimes hold me.
Why?
Because I'm going to faint, you idiot. No, not idiot. Sorry, I said idiot. Please don't kill me. I didn't mean to call you an idiot.
Do you know who I am?
Oh, don't come the coy cop with me.
So anyway, Missy does a runner, gets a boat, and bye-bye.
Yeah, heads out into the water.
Also, she's wearing a boating hat.
Yes.
At one point, she goes to the boathouse and she's just picked up like a little captain's hat. So I imagine like one of the little like white mariner's hats with like a little gold braid on the front.
And she's got her Sonic umbrella, and we do get told it's Sonic
Yeah.
in this.
So she's got her Sonic umbrella.
Yes, and she's tied one of them down so she can't chase her because I think she was with one of them. And they were like, "Oh, you can't tie me down." And she's like, "Please, I spent a summer with the cheetah people. If I can tie them down, you've got no chance."
It's beautiful, isn't it? Such a great reference.
Yeah, like probably one of the few references to the cheetah era.
Yeah.
I do love when the writers just throw in those little random extra mentions.
Freddie Valdosta has not written for Big Finish before. Like this is the first outing. I don't even know who Freddie Valdosta is. I should really check that. No, literally all the references I'm finding to Freddie Valdosta online are to do with Missy Bad Influence.
Okay.
So that's really good. I like to see something new, and it's a great story.
Yes. Yeah, so the climax is great too.
Yeah, so Missy's getting away on a boat, mwahaha, as usual. And so the girls, Charlie's Angels thing, right? That's what they're doing.
They're using Solaire, or is it Grace, as a boat.
They use Solaire.
Yeah.
So they're all back to being normal. Like they've gotten rid of all of the wood, because it turned out what he was doing was protecting them, covering them in like this wooden shield, so it would keep them stay fresh for for a while until they could take him back to his home world, which like it's the most polite abduction ever, right? Like he's abducting them because his planet is a pleasure planet for plants and they need more carbon dioxide, so they need carbon dioxide breathers.
Yes, because humans are the best generators of carbon dioxide, so they get to go and live on this beautiful, lush paradise world and just need to breathe.
All they need to do is breathe.
Yeah, so the girls are up for it.
Yeah, of course they are. But so they're Missy's getting away, and they're going to stop her. They've decided they're going to stop her.
Yep.
So they turn Solaire, this plant person. He grew like Groot, right?
Yes.
He's Doctor Who's Groot. He turns into a boat, which is great.
Yeah, like a rafty sort of thing, and they get
with
on him.
A motorized raft, and they go after Missy. They have a face-off in the middle of the ocean because it's on an island off the coast of the south coast of England. They have a face-off about a mile offshore. She's in a raft, and
he tries to drain. He grabs her.
Yeah, tries to suck all the moisture out of her because he's running out of energy, right? And he needs She's just like, you haven't realized that you're in salt water right now, and you need fresh water. And so he tries to drain the liquid from her, but what he does is he drains all the liquid from her vortex manipulator, which got drenched in the rain, which is why she hasn't been able to leave.
Because it's all waterlogged. But now it's not. So now she can just
and then
jumps away.
Yeah, and she's gone. And they are stuck in a raft a mile out from sea. She also shot Grace with the disintegrator gun, which is working a lot slower than usual. So she's very, very slowly disintegrating.
Yes.
So they make the decision, and I love this because it's just really, it's a really romantic image. I think he Solaire uses his energy to encase them all in this wood, like this
seed
wooden
pod, he calls it.
Yeah, he calls it a seed pod. So they are basically a giant seed pod floating around in the sea, waiting for his people to come and find them.
Yeah, and then they'll all be taken to the other world.
Yeah,
because the girls know that, like, even if they stay here, they will just get the blame for their teacher being killed.
Yes.
So there's nothing for them here anymore. So their best option is to do this, and they all decide they want to do it.
And it will probably, it'll arrest the symptoms of the disintegrator gun until his, people can help Grace.
Yeah.
It's a really sweet, bittersweet.
Yeah.
But it is a really sort of, as I say, romantic ending.
And he says that they're just going to drift in the sea. It could be 1,000 years before his people finally come past this part of the universe and hear the distress signal.
Yeah.
So they could be just floating around in the ocean forever, but it's better than the other alternatives.
Yeah.
And I think that's great because I thought for sure, I was like, oh, one or more of these girls is going to die.
Yeah.
Missy's going to kill one of them, I'm sure. But no, they all kind of get away in the end.
Yep. And Missy then appears on. Her vortex manipulator takes her to England, but a bit in the past.
Yes.
And
13th century?
Yeah, 13th century. So she lands, and she's at a joust. And she's like, at least the weather's better. And it starts raining again.
Oh my gosh, I realized I have a couple of things I want to just quickly circle back to.
Yes.
We didn't talk about the lute player. Is that?
Oh, that's in episode 3, isn't it?
No, 1. Isn't the lute player in? Yeah, the lute player's in the first episode. Because there's a lute player in the tavern that her and Blake Locke go into.
Oh, that's right. The last person who played a lute didn't have long enough arms to play it again. I don't mean I put it up on a high shelf. I mean I put it right up. No, I understand.
I did love that. Also, Missy at one point says, "Oh, my giddy uncle."
Oh, my giddy uncle. I like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an interesting. That's an interesting turn of phrase, of course, isn't it? Because the second Doctor,
Yes.
loves, oh, my giddy aunt.
Yes, whereas this one, Missy just slightly twisted, but still a fun reference. I love those little details that some of these writers incorporate in. Also, Missy killed Elvis.
Yeah, she does say that, doesn't she?
Yes.
Yeah. Never kill your heroes. She's like, wow, except Elvis.
Yeah.
What? Okay.
Just given the circumstances Elvis was found in, I thought that was funny.
Okay, third episode, which is the Baron Robbers.
Yes.
Which is, of course, a pun because at that time there was the robber barons, right? Who were the ones who taxation. They took all that. Can I just take this moment to say, tax is a wonderful thing. Everyone should pay it. It's not the 13th century anymore. No one's trying to gouge you out of every last cent. Just pay it so you can drive on the roads and go to the hospital. All right, good. So she lands at a joust.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And there's someone, Sir Kay. Hello, aren't you lovely?
Yeah, they instantly say, "Can I say, madam, may I have your favor? I don't know if I want to really do you a favor. No, a ribbon or a or a flower or something."
Yeah. She gets distracted because of course I love the this is another wonderful use of audio. Like this particular episode
Yes.
here, it has a lot of really interesting uses of audio, right?
It's cutaways.
There's a lot of cutaways. It's just like, who's that over there? That is the Black Prince. He does this is this.
And you can just see in your mind him,
Yeah.
it's cutting away to showing him doing all those wonderful things.
And then she says, no, not him. The one next
There's
to
a
it.
record scratch.
There was a genuine record scratch.
Yeah, not that one over there, the one made of wood. And they're like, oh, no one knows him. They've never seen his face. And, oh, look, lovely. Like, it's almost as if his armor's alive with wood. And she's like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Can
okay.
I just quickly say as well, as you know, as an editor, 99.99 times when you think you want to use a record scratch, you shouldn't. Like this was done perfectly.
Yeah.
But if you're sitting there going, I'm going to use a record scratch, really think hard if you're going to,
Oh.
because it's overdone.
I've used 2 record scratches in episodes I've edited for us.
Yeah, they were fine. I would have told you if they weren't. Okay, so yeah, so Solaire is
Back.
is back. Sir Flores, but this is of course his first meeting with Missy.
Yes.
So yeah, she doesn't actually have much to do with him until like right towards the end of the episode, though. She sees him, and that was weird, right? Because you're just like, oh, she's seen him. This is going to be about them, and it's just like, nope, this is about her trying to steal a diamond off a baron.
It's not called a diamond.
No, it's not called. It's a.
I nearly made this a please attend carefully question.
It's a splinter. No. What's it called?
I don't know.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, that whole time I'm making these faces and these
Yep.
noises, and you're just like sitting there. I'm just like, she knows. She's
No.
just not telling me.
No.
No. Okay. It was called something.
Act actually. I think you'll find it's a spinel.
It's not a ruby. All the characters keep calling it a ruby, and she's like, "It's not a ruby. It's and she gives it another name, its real name,
Yeah.
which I can't remember. But I think that's funny that I don't.
Yeah, let's leave that whole bit in.
And so we find out there are a few knights, and there's a baron, and there's a prince, and
the Baron played by
yes, it's Rupert Van Sittart.
Van der Tart. Yep, he's
I
amazing.
love him.
He's got an amazing voice.
Yep.
The last time he was in the physical show Doctor Who, you'll remember him as one of the Slitheen in Aliens of London World War III.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love him in Game of Thrones as Lord Royce.
He's got an amazing voice, great comic timing. The problem with his voice is, if anything, it is too distinctive. So when they use him as background characters in this, you're just like, there he is.
Yeah,
Thought we wouldn't notice.
He's
but we did.
he's the guard that Missy hangs out of the tower.
Yeah.
Tell me where it is.
The treasury! The ruby's in the treasury!
Oh, there you go. You see? That wasn't so difficult now, was it?
Help me! I'm slipping! I can't hold on!
No, that's all right. Oh, you can go now.
So anyway, he, as the Baron, has this crystalline substance, and she needs it to power her vortex manipulator.
Yes,
right?
but the prince is giving it to the baron as like a token of not favor, like as a reward.
Yeah.
Like, I like you as a baron. Take this ruby as a reward.
And so herein lies the plot of the episode. So Missy is trying to get in with the prince has hurt his shoulder.
Yeah, Floris Soler has smacked him with a
lance.
joust. Yeah, so he needs to be healed. So Missy steps in to take over as a wise woman.
Yes, a wise woman. 2 things must ye know about
We've
the
already
wise
done
woman.
this bit in a previous episode.
Record scratch. Go back to that episode. But they say, "Oh, are you a doctor?" No, I'm never a doctor. Don't ever use that word.
But I'll give it a good go, though. And she basically takes on the role of healer.
Lots of leeches. She loves. It's just like, here, have some leeches.
Yes, just putting leeches on him to say that'll heal the gash in his shoulder.
So that's her. Like, that's her plan to try and get there. She's trying to get in that way, but she finds out that
a few servants.
Yeah, a couple of servants. Turns out they are peasants who were taxed to hell and back and had their whole livelihoods.
I love that.
Taken away.
Another great cutaway where they explain how the Baron came in and started taxing them heavily, and then the crops failed, the barn burnt down, and I love that you can hear it like torrential rain, but you can also hear fire, and then Missy just voices over you wouldn't think it would be, you think it'd be too wet for there to be a fire, but here we are. And it just shows us all these little vignettes of how this village failed, and then the Baron came in to tax them.
It is it's a masterclass. If you want to make good audio, we would call these audio dramas, right? These 3 episodes, they're audio comedy. I want if you want to write good audio comedy, go and listen to this.
Yep. That sort of non-diegetic, but mixed with diegetic. It really, really worked in this story particularly.
Which leads us to, quite frankly, the best bit of audio, which is Missy teams up with the servants.
Yes.
To try and steal from him. And we get Ocean's 11.
Yeah, heist with multiple we could do it like this, and it cuts to them doing the heist.
Different sound, the different music, and of course, connoisseurs will recognize the music from the Missy true crime episode being Missy's music.
Because it's the same composer for Missy the way through.
So I think. There's definitely some new music in there, but quite a lot of it, I think they've just got a set amount of they've just got set pieces that they then just sort of slot in.
Yeah, because it's in the interviews again. The guy who writes all the music for Missy, and he has control, so he really likes to follow a certain theme. He said
because I recognize little sound beats and themes and stuff. Because of course when I did the episode on Spoonful of Mayhem, I cut out a lot of music and I used that in a way.
Yeah, and there's it's really great. There's a different version of her theme that's just like a really simple
Oh,
sort
yeah.
of just very basic piano
Oh, wow.
version that you can hear in the background sometimes, just like a little interstitial
yeah.
version of her theme, which was very, very cute.
But I did love the heist. Like, oh, we could do it like this or this or
Yes,
this.
and then we're waiting for them on the road, and they go like, "Oh no, please take." And
Yes.
you've got the voice actors voicing the fake versions of themselves, like the Baron being like, "Spare my life and just take the ruby."
And like, honestly, at this point, long story short, Missy gets the ruby.
Yes,
Like-
they do her heist plan, and they're like, "Yeah, it's gonna work," but obviously, without telling them, she sets up another part to the plan where the guards trip over and the fake glass ruby falls from their hands and shatters on the ground, so they know
Yeah.
it's not the real one. So then they're looking for the thieves, and they haven't gotten away yet, and she's taken the saddlebag. So
Along with a bunch of other loot, which includes some gold coins and a gold cup.
yes, I do love there is a scene just before that where she is interrogating a guard to find out where the ruby is kept, and he's hanging from a window.
Yeah.
And she gets the information and he's like, "Please, I can't hold on any longer." And she's like, "Oh yeah, no need to hang around, off you go."
Yeah.
And he can't hold on, let's go. And she's like, "Bye."
That's
I-
right. Because because the servant comes. I thought I heard the guard. Oh yeah, he couldn't hang around any longer.
Yeah,
Oh, mwah.
love that.
So she runs off into the sunset. She ends up. She meets Sir Flores, and that's right. The servants.
That's right.
They're
Yes,
in
yes,
the
yes, yes,
stocks. They're in
Yeah.
the stocks, like yelling at her,
Yep.
and she's like, "I don't know them at all."
Yeah, that's right. Because they're like, "Oh," because it's then that she does the voice that's a callback to the previous audio, kind of, where the guards come in and find her with the saddlebag, and she's like, "Oh, these servants, they are the real thieves. They tried to
Yeah.
hurt me. I'm just a wise woman. I don't know what's going on." And they're like, the next thing you know, they'll be saying that you should like go through my belongings, and like, you should, like, yes. And she's like, "See, they're evil." And the guards are like, "Oh, that's okay. It's okay, madam. Here's your bag. Be on your way." And she gets out.
Classism in action as usual. So she does meet up with Sir Flores again, or for the first time. She actually meets him and it's just like, "I know that you're a tree." Sorry, what?
Yeah. Oh, his perception filter's breaking.
Yeah.
And she's like, "You're all green."
He's like, "Am I fucking..."
She's like, "Not enough sunlight on this planet."
Yes. And they eventually, like, they have a bit of a chat and a little bit of a flirt, and then she's off again.
She throws leeches at him
Yeah.
and runs away. And he's like, "Get these leeches off my
Pocket
face."
leeches.
Yeah.
Ah.
Pretty much. This is pretty much what she does. And yeah. And so I hope we see him.
Absolutely. Like
Again.
they have set up James Blakelock and
Solaire.
Solaire as
Yeah.
like recurring things. Absolutely. But then we get the sort of lead into what I assume is lead into next box set. She's on the back of a horse with Sir Kay, the one who tried to get her favor at the beginning. It's raining again.
Yes.
And she's just like, how long till we get to your castle? He's just like, "Oh, it's only about 3 days." And she's just like,
3 days.
and he's just like, that gold cup of yours. My cousin Percy's been looking for something like that. Sorry, what? Oh, well, Percival, really. Sorry, you've got a cousin, Sir Percival, who's looking for a golden cup. Where are we going? Oh, Camelot. Right.
"Oh yeah, my king would love to meet you. Let
Yeah.
me guess, is his name Arthur?" "It is. How did you know?"
So what I want to know is how they're, like, if this is where they're planning on going for the next box set, right? There are different things that need to be answered. Obviously, right? So who's Merlin? Because we know from conflicting accounts that the Doctor is Merlin, but also the Master is Merlin.
Yeah.
Um,
I'd take the master one probably less, because that's from an annual and it's generic master. It isn't Ainley or Delgado.
yes, yeah.
So that one's a bit weaker, but yes, there is a story where Merlin is the master.
Yeah. So it could be the Doctor, it could be the Master. And also, could it possibly, I doubt it, because that would probably be if it's hard enough wrangling Michelle Gomez and Arthur Darvill for like Rory the Roman as in Camelot with her.
Yeah, it could be incredible, because is it Seven who is Merlin?
Well, so in Battlefield,
Yeah.
The Seventh Doctor realizes that he is Merlin, but in the future he is Merlin.
Okay.
So
it could be a different.
It could be a different Doctor. So
Because I was thinking it'd be incredible to have Dr. Merlin, then Rory,
yeah.
and then maybe if Missy becomes Morgana,
Well,
that would be a really fun.
It's an interesting thing, isn't it? So yeah, trying to work out what the fuck is going on.
I would love to see Missy take on Morgana if the Doctor is already Merlin. I think that would be so much fun. It'd be a great thing, but as we say, the scheduling and stuff would probably be crazy.
The scheduling would be nightmare.
Which Doctor would you like to see be Merlin? It can't be 12 because she doesn't meet 12 until.
Yeah,
because this
I
is all
know.
pre-12.
I know. Look, a 12 would be lovely.
Yeah.
Look, you want someone with a bit of gravitas, don't you? I don't know.
Probably any of them, I guess.
I'd like any of them. You know what? I'd kind of like Jodie Whittaker. Like I would like. I'd like 13. I think that would be a great Merlin. But yeah, look, for a traditional Merlin, you're looking at 12.
So I think that's the. So
Yeah.
that's the end. That's where we leave her off. She's got a working. Is it working vortex manipulator or not yet? No. No, because she wouldn't be going with him if she didn't.
Yeah, no, she's still getting it there.
Yeah.
But let's face it, she's dangerous.
Yes, of course, always. So yeah, it's a fun 3-part.
So much fun.
I really liked the first one the best, and I think I liked the first one as probably one of my favorite ever.
Yeah.
Audios mixed incredibly, written incredibly, and I love Patterson Joseph so much.
Yeah.
And I loved the character James Blakelock.
Yeah, no, it's a time assassin James Blakelock. I love that they always keep his full time assassin James Blakelock.
Yeah, I really thought that was fun, and I really loved Space Rome.
Space Rome was silly.
Yeah, I really, really liked that setting. So yeah, that one for me.
Don't touch the buttocks. I know it's tempting.
That one for me was my favorite.
Yeah,
The first one. And then I did enjoy the other two. They were very fun. I liked the heist in the third one because at first I was like, this is a little slow.
Yeah.
But then when it was revealed it was going to be a heist episode, I was really on board.
Yeah. Absolutely. And the fact that the box sets are now at 3 episodes.
I think that's good.
Yeah, there's not any. Yeah.
Like when we did that last Missy box set, the fourth one was really dragged, whereas this was really tight, succinct, good.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I liked it. We got the 3 different sort of genres. That's a great thing about Missy. But they're all comedy. But we got pulp,
Yes.
horror, and heist.
Yeah.
And that's the power of Missy is you can drop her into the different genres and she just adapts to that genre and role plays it basically, like goes with it.
Yeah. That's it, isn't it? Time Assassin James Blakelock is Sky Captain in the World of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
All I have to do is... Hang on, this isn't a crossbow. It's someone's leg. How did I...
I am the mistress of the old switcheroo. Now watch this, Sonny.
All right. Kieran, were you attending carefully?
I was just vibing. I was honestly I was just
Yeah, that's
vibing.
fair.
I was enjoying it so much. I was just being taken along.
All right. What does Missy love about Emperor Nero the 13th? It's a physical quality.
His hair?
Yes. She says it's all tousled in gold.
No.
We did briefly mention, but I'll see if you can get it more specifically. Why does Missy hate the loot?
Oh, aha. I know. So she hates the loot because she was once stuck in a cell with the woman who wrote Greensleeves. And she knows she's the one who wrote Greensleeves because for a year she kept telling her how she wrote Greensleeves. And then someone snuck in a loot and she continued to play Greensleeves.
Yes, correct.
Do we think that's the monk? Like, do we think that was when the monk
Well,
had her locked up?
She says it was Hilda. No, and that would be... So she said the name, the woman who wrote it was called Hilda.
Yeah.
No, but the monk is after this because she has a working vortex manipulator in the monk's story.
That's true. And
So-
also, because there's a Greensleeves gag.
Yes, there is.
In that. It's just like you could...
That makes way more sense now. You couldn't remember green sleeves.
I'm Menery the Eighth. I am.
Greensleeves. I mean, seriously, how can you not know Greensleeves?
I was under pressure. I panicked. I was just trying to cause a massive temporal paradox. I didn't expect a pub quiz.
Now we're both for the
All right.
job.
How many sugars does Missy have in her tea?
3, 2, 1.
6.
Bugger.
Right. Who was Missy's best third date with?
Oh.
Because Solaire says, "Oh, you said that I was the best third date you'd ever had," and she goes, "Oh no, actually, that would have been
Elvis? No. Nope, no idea.
Pontius Pilate."
Pontius Pilate?
I love the implication of what that third date might have been.
Dinner and crucifixion and chill. There we go.
She'd love that. So
She
yeah,
would.
that's
Still doesn't ring any bells, I'm afraid. And my best third date was with Pontius Pilate. Took him for flying lessons. Very fun.
and because I also was vibing for the last one, this question's probably easy. What tea does Missy get the steward to make her?
Oh, that's right. Chamomile tea. That's
Yeah.
such a great.
Yes.
I need boiling water. I need chamomile. I need this. And they get the. What do we need for this poultice? No, just bung it in the water. Make me some tea.
Just is so like hectic. I just need to relax a bit.
Oh, that was fun. Yeah, it was such a fun box set.
It was. Deaths.
Deaths. How
We
many?
actually got some ones.
Oh, lovely.
We got the Pig King
Oh, yeah.
at the start.
The exploding pig king. Yep.
The music teacher of the fiddle. What was his name?
The encephalophyddle.
Yes, the inventor of the encephalophyddle. The lute player in the bar that they go into. The reform school teacher. Oh, she kills whoever was sitting in the seat at the joust before her. This seat was murder to get, literally.
Oh, God.
And Cobb, the guard that drops out the window. So 6.
Yeah, nice.
I didn't
Still better
count.
to be Prime Minister.
She mentions a bunch of other deaths, but I only counted the ones that happened on the screen.
Yep.
I know you're scared, but don't worry. I have a few choice words of advice on how to survive the night. Investigate strange noises. Pranks are funny and never go wrong. If the monster seems dead, be sure to lean in very close to double check. And if you find any scary books written in a strange and ancient language, read them out loud. They may contain helpful hints. Oh, and always split up.
Amber, what did we learn?
I don't think we learnt too many big things.
I mean, we learned that, like,
But we learnt some
Missy,
little things.
Yeah, like tiny little lore things, like the fact that the master used to love reading stories of like adventurous time assassins.
Yeah, at the academy read James Blakelock stories and
Yeah,
then had a crush on him.
it's a great. It is a great name, isn't it? Like James Blakelock. It does sound very.
Yeah. That Missy had an Evil Dead phase at the academy as well.
I mean, I had a bit of a I was a bit of a fan of like Evil Dead and stuff in high. Actually, no, I was more of a Hellraiser fan in high school. But
Missy hates the loot.
I'm right there with her. Look, what? I don't.
I guess the big thing we learn is where Missy got the vortex manipulator from,
Yes.
which is really cool. I do like Big Finish continuing to fill in these gaps
Yeah.
of things, just taking one idea, where'd she get the manipulator from, and then writing an entire story about that.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. These stories are basically character driven, even though she is trying to get her like vortex manipulator working, and that is a through line. It's character driven stories, which I really like. It's I had a train of thought, and then that train of thought derailed. It's fine.
Missy killed Elvis.
Missy killed Elvis. It's a weird thing to admit to. The thing about Missy, right, is I think both Missy and the Doctor are 100% guilty of exactly the same thing, which is making stuff up for effect. So like when the Doctor says, I once met Abraham Lincoln and gave him a hat or something like that. That is the Doctor making something up. That is why he has said on so many different occasions that he's met Houdini in many different ways. Or like the Master said he's met Houdini. It is, I think, especially for the Doctor, and I will like hand to heart believe this, I think what the Doctor's doing in those situations is trying to get people to stop focusing on the situation, like just trying to distract them with something.
Yeah, like, oh, that was you that did that? Wait,
kind of inane and pointless. And so I don't think he and one of my big reasons for saying this, and this is totally off topic, in the 50th anniversary comic, the something of the Doctor, it was always the something of the Doctor in the 50th anniversary, Prisoners of Time, sorry, that was what it was called. There's a bit where like the Doctor has to remember who he was, and so he has to like look at things from his past life, and he picks up a cravat, the 8th Doctor, and he says, "Oh, I got this in a thing with I was given this by Oscar Wilde after an incident with a theater of midgets," and then later on, someone's just like, "Well, no, that's not true, is it?" And he said, "Well, no, would you rather I told you I got it in a San Francisco morgue?" And so I think Missy will honestly just say whatever the hell she wants.
Yep.
And because no one's checking up on her. I think both the Doctor and Missy have worked out that no one is actually checking up on anything they say.
I love that was an in-joke between the two of them, who can just come up with the weirdest shit to just claim as theirs.
Yeah, right.
Like, oh, I killed Elvis. And the Doctor's like, damn, it's a good one.
Like, and it's coming at them from the opposite things, like the Doctor being like, "Oh, I was there on the 25th of December, 0 AD." And Missy was just like, where me and Pontius Pilate fucked. Because it's the third day.
But, yeah. I mean, another thing we learn is that Missy and Solaire are going to date in the future.
I know, it's
go
an
on
interesting
some
relationship.
Dates. They go on a Red Sea cruise together, and Missy cheats on him. And and he's upset about that, which is so in the future, that's kind of a cool thing. Whether or not we ever see it, but it is kind of like a little River Song-esque thing for Missy. There is someone in Missy's future who she'll see a few times, and they'll be considered dates.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because let's face it, the way the Doctor is coded, more often than not, is that the Doctor is not a particularly sexual being. Whereas Missy and River Song definitely fuck. Like...
Yeah. Like, I think it was clear in this one that, like, Missy and James Blakelock, there was definitely tension there, and it was fun as well. Like, but definitely. As much as the companions like to throw themselves at the Doctor, it's the Master they should be throwing themselves at.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? I suppose this is what this box set differentiates from all the other Missy box sets. Because, like, when you had the Monk, it was fun, but there was absolutely no attraction there whatsoever. Whereas Missy is genuinely quite attracted to everyone in this box set. Like, she's genuinely, it's like, oh, yeah. Are you single or edible?
Yeah. At the same time, though, I did kind of get to the point by the end where I was a bit like, okay, we don't need Missy to be in love with every man she comes across. I guess it was Solaire twice. But there is that little bit of like, same with the Doctor, with like, all right, not everyone needs to be in love.
Well, like, not everyone needs to be in love. I mean, I suppose I want to throw this to you, right? I'm not sure if we're going to put this in the episode. I want to throw this to you. Imagine this box set is right at the beginning of Missy's arc. Like, this is right Imagine that Missy literally
Right
just,
after, yeah.
just regenerated, right? This is the first time in a female body.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think it matters for the Time Lords, though, what gender they are, does it?
No, but I mean, it's a whole new set of fun mechanics
That's
to try.
true. That is very true. Yes, take
Like-
Solara out for a test drive.
Yeah, like you're as a society, you're advanced where gender doesn't matter, but
Yeah.
mechanically, it's something different.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I wanted to say that, but
Yeah,
we'll
that's
see
fine.
how we go. Okay, is that it? That's all.
Yeah.
I love what we've done. Okay. That's all for this week's episode of Please Attend Carefully. Thank you so much for listening. We hope that with each new episode you come to understand, appreciate, and maybe even obey the Master. Don't forget to follow or subscribe to be updated on new episodes. Amber, how can listeners get in contact with us?
They can email us, pleaseattendcarefully@gmail.com. Send us an ask on Tumblr @pleaseattendcarefully, or on Instagram @pleaseattendcarefully.
We also have a Patreon with tiers starting as low as $2. I've been Kieran.
And I've been Amber.
We hope you'll be tuning in next time. After all, it can't hurt you to listen, can it?